Now this is a title that makes me excited. My expectations have been raised. Let's see if it will disappoint. In the valiant, I should read the title. Programmers should stop celebrating incompetence. In the valiant effort to combat imposter syndrome and gatekeeping, the programming world has taken a bad turn down a blind alley by celebrating incompetence. You don't have to reduce an entire profession to a clueless gang of copy-pasta pirates to make new recruits feel welcome. It undermines the aspiration to improve. It reduces the work to magical thinking. It is not good. So far, although I don't live in this world so much, when I look over at web universe, I am instantly repelled whenever I see the nobody's good at their job, or haha, aren't we all so unqualified, we're just copying things from the internet. I don't even know what I'm doing most of the time. I just get paid. Isn't that great? I find this very repugnant. So far, so good. I say this as an evaluation of the prescription, not of the diagnosis. The programming world absolutely has had and still has challenges with imposter syndrome and gatekeeping, in large part because, unlike so many other professional fields, a high percentage of people working in programming are self-taught, including yours truly, and me, the reader, actually. I'm confused, though, how that would lead to imposter syndrome. Or maybe, right, it's imposter syndrome because you don't have a degree, and the imagination is that if I have a degree, then I'll not have imposter syndrome. That seems not true, but maybe it is. Maybe if you're a self-taught web person, you feel more like an imposter. I don't know about this gatekeeping thing, though. Well, I don't even know what he means by gatekeeping, so maybe we'll find out. When you don't have a diploma from a prestigious institution telling you and the world that you know things and you're good at things, it's only natural to occasionally have doubts, especially if there are people with your profession who use their diplomas as a logical fallacy to prove why they're right and you're wrong. But you can't. Okay, so I guess in this case it would be people with degrees are like, I have the degree from programming. I went to UML diagram school, so you have to listen to me. I buy that kind of gatekeeping. Well, it's weird. I wouldn't call it gatekeeping because it's like a loaded term. But interesting use of the word. But you can't let that doubt win. You can't come the I have no idea what I'm doing dog as a professional identity. Don't embrace being a copy-pasta programmer whose chief skill is looking up shit on the internet. Treat it as a part of the learning process to actually understand what's going on, not merely as a shortcut to solve today's problems. If you never dig deeper, your competence will be stuck at the surface, and it will take you longer to get things done. Because in fact, you cannot Google yourself. Or even if you can Google yourself to some point, just knowing how to do the thing yourself is faster. So if you want to just say you were optimizing for money, right? To make the most money, you ostensibly have to deliver the most value. To deliver the most value, you have to get the largest amount of work done as fast as possible. And so even just for that, looking stuff up hurts you. Looking stuff up repeatedly without actually learning anything, that hurts you. Likewise, influential programmers who do not have the hard-earned skills and accumulated knowledge to repeatedly create good software need to resist the temptation of presenting a, yes, I too am no little copy pasta dummy. Just like you, facade. Whatever gains you derive from being relatable to someone struggling must be weighed against infusing this industry with a sense of futility of deep learning. This I think is a very good point, which is if you, I mean, that would be, I haven't thought about that before. If there's a temptation of to have your message resonate more, you pretend, or you validate incorrect ideas or notions, and then you get this an industry that is filled with beginners and has a beginner mentality infused into it. The magic of programming is largely just things you don't know yet. Once you learn those things, it stops being magic in the sense of, I have no idea how it did that or why it works. And it starts being magic in the sense of, I can make the computer do exactly what I ask it to. The point is to become the wizard, not be bedazzled. Be the bedazzled member of the audience. Yes. And I care so much about this that I have this project called Serum, where the point is to remove all the magic, is to say, no, it's actually, compared to any modern web environment, it is way easier to understand every little detail of how, well, this computer that I sell and write all the software for, you can get this thing and you can program on it, and you can, it's not hard to learn every single bit that goes, every single ingredient in the pie, if that makes sense. You can read code in the kernel. It's very simple. You can read code in the compiler. It's also pretty simple. So it's its own programming language. Everything is from scratch. Everything is self-hosted. And in total, it's less than 30,000 lines or something. We're probably bumping up against 30,000 now. But it's a shockingly small amount compared to, understanding a web browser. Understanding a web browser is way more difficult, or like any of these framework nonsense thingies that people do in webland. Those things are so much more complicated, which, I mean, maybe I can understand adds to the sense of futility, where you just say, well, this is so crazy, I'm just never going to understand it. I'm going to keep copy pasting forever. But anyway, yeah, you can, if this sounds interesting to you, you can check this out at samuelsmith.com/Serenum. You can read more. The most recent update as of recording, I developed this window manager so we can have windows and stuff, and I did all the development for that on the device itself. So like self-hosted development and like bootstrapping up to a more complicated environment. So very cool. But let's continue. The point is to become the wizard, not the bedazzled member of the audience. This does not happen overnight, and we need to have the confidence to accept that our profession has depth, even as we celebrate the ease with which someone can get started and welcome them onto the journey of becoming a wizard. Yes. Yeah, I mean, probably some people feel that draw, yeah. I mean, I don't find that to be a contradiction at all, that something can be easy to get into and have this immense depth of skill that you can acquire. I guess it's, if people want to believe that everybody's equal and there aren't huge gaps in competence, which can be uncomfortable to some people. Which is maybe why this, I don't know, why you want to pull down the those who excel, or deny that there is such a thing as this huge skill gap between people. It also doesn't happen across all the domains of programming. You can't become an expert at everything, so it's fine to accept your boundaries. But it's not fine to think you shouldn't be on some paths towards mastery. if you intend to make programming your career. We also need to accept that not all wizard apprentices turn out to be of equal talent or end up with equal levels of competence. Just like in every other field of human pursuits, you can learn the basics of chess in a few minutes, but you can also spend a lifetime mastering the game, and not everyone becomes a grandmaster, even if they try very hard. Yeah, this seems contradictory to the previous statement, though. I mean, I do actually believe that most people can be very good, at least way, way, way better than they are currently. But, I mean, I guess you kind of want people to be on the path towards mastery, because they then end up being not very happy because they become jealous. Although, I mean, as long as you don't become jealous, maybe it's fine if for you to have a job, to have a job and not be increasing your skill over time. But then you shouldn't expect, then you're going to be in a low level entry position basically for the entire time. Would be my opinion, I guess. The world has never had a greater need for programmers than it does today. It's never had a greater need for competent programmers than it does today. Let's skip the overly self-deprecating nonsense that nobody knows what they're doing and try learn things in depth. Let's skip the overly self-deprecating nonsense that nobody knows what they're doing, and trying to learn things in depth is not for us. With comma and here, I don't know if I would have done that. If you're not a clueless dog banging at the keyboard with no prospects of ever improving, you're not a clueless dog banging at the keyboard with no prospects of ever improving. You're a human of tremendous capacity to become good at what you do. Embrace that. Then we have the I have no idea what I'm doing dog. Well, I think I agree with basically all of that. Notice as well, just to hammer home points I've said previously, notice how he never says technologies here when referring to web frameworks. So, and he doesn't say coder either. He says programmers, which I guess subtly influences my attitude to the article. Instantly increases, or I should really say doesn't automatically decrease. Had he written coders should stop celebrating incompetence, I would have been a bit confused because it's mixed messages there. Anyway, that's all I have to say. If you want to check out stuff I do, go to samhsmith.com/Serenum to check out this project. So that in the realm of this project, we absolutely do adhere to this article and don't celebrate incompetence. And other than that, I wish you a very nice evening, and I'll see you in the next video.